Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 9th of February, comes to you from London. And we start, as always, by looking at currencies, then stock markets, some commodities, and last of all, some tech stocks. And really, what we're interested in is what's changed. And the dollar over the last couple of days has just really been going sideways. But we are still above the cloud. So we still are bullish on all three time frames. We do have this new upside target about 1.3% away, but we are hitting our resistance on the 60-minute point and figure chart, and we do have a new downside target. So that dollar strength is not really looking like it's going to be sustained at the moment. We're still above the cloud. We're testing the cloud again this morning. More downside targets than upside targets. So we're still waiting for that short-term picture to turn bullish. And if we look at the euro, we see that playing out in the other way around, of course. We are seeing here we've got a downside target, but we do have lots of upside targets. Interestingly, we are sort of bearish here. We are just seeing the euro still maintaining that short-term bearishness. No real signs of any short-term bullishness at the moment, although we are coming back to test the cloud again. Go to the 1-minute charts for a real heads up on what currencies are doing. If we look at the Japanese yen, we see here the dollar has failed to get back up through the cloud, so just at the moment it's yen strength, dollar weakness on this chart. Sterling has moved back through the cloud this morning, so we see now that we do have again a situation where we're just starting to move up. And interestingly, on the daily chart, we are coming through on the cloud. But what we do need to be aware of is, if we look back, we've had those temporary breaches before in this bigger downtrend. So even though that is a bullish sign. Of course, the weekly cloud needs to turn bullish before we could say that sterling was in a new long-term uptrend. We do have a lot of downside targets hanging over us. Interestingly, this one stands a chance of being negated, so that is quite good news for sterling, but it could go either way. And really, what we're waiting for on sterling is this break of 127. That was the level that we saw, or below 123.50. That's just the last several weeks. So at the moment, we've got quite a big range there of about 4 cents, 3.5 cents, and that's really going to govern which way we go next, which way we break out of that range. And if we look at the sterling euro chart, we see sterling appreciating here as well. So quite an improvement. The vote overnight in the UK to leave pretty clear. That's probably just helped. The lack of uncertainty helps the currency, even though it's potentially still bearish for sterling. If we look at the Australian dollar, we see here that reversal as well. So sterling just looking stronger at the moment. If we go to the S&P 500, just really hovering in this 2290s area, just can't quite break out. We see the last couple of weeks here on the chart, just really just hugging that 2300 level. Pausing for breath really before we break again. Lots of upside targets. This market's still looking pretty bullish, certainly medium and long-term bullish. And Nasdaq is breaking to new highs, so we are just seeing that powering ahead. Dow Jones is holding the 20,000 level, but is not really doing the anticipated run, having broken out. But we've still got, again, upside targets, so we shouldn't be surprised to see that run. The Russell 2000 we've talked about is just in this sideways range at the moment. We need a new high for it to break and run. The futures this morning in London, we just see here that we are just slightly down on the S&P and slightly up on the Nasdaq, so no real heads up as to which way the US is going to open. And we see here on the FTSE index, we're bullish above the cloud on all three time frames. Less clear-cut targets than the US market, but still looking pretty good. And of course, if the US goes up, that's probably going to be pretty good for FTSE. The FTSE 250 is powering ahead. We are just seeing that mid-market. Stronger sterling tends to have a bit of an impact on the FTSE 100, less so on the FTSE 250, and we're just powering ahead here. So lots of stocks there driving that forward. And if we look at the DAX, we're below the cloud here, short term, so not looking as good as the UK or the US market. And if we look at Nikkei, we see here much the same picture, below the cloud, just looking bearish short term, but bullish medium and long term. China has been one of our big worries over the recent weeks and months, and we are just seeing now we're bullish on the daily and the 60-minute. Just need to come through on the weekly chart. And the Hang Seng is just doing that now, just coming through. So that picture is looking better and better as well. And we see here on the Sensex bullish on all three time frames, so that's pretty good. And the Aussie market just starting to come through short term as well. Brent crude is up nearly 1% this morning. We're still below the cloud, but that looks like a thrust off a bottom here. And the same on WTI, just recovering there quite strongly. US nat gas is actually now up through the cloud as well, so we're bullish on all three time frames there. Quite a lot of volatility. Gold we've been quite bullish on. We see here we're above the cloud, just starting to come through on the daily. So that's pretty key there, that we are just starting to get through on the daily cloud there. And silver, we're seeing much the same thing. Tech, it's all pretty much going up. If we look at Facebook making new highs, that's pretty strong. Apple as well. Powering ahead. Nvidia reporting tonight. Be very interesting to see what these results say. The charts suggest they're going to be great, but we'll have to wait and see. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.